Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to analyze this novel. Its name is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and it's written by an American writer, Gabrielle Zevin. I'm gonna do the critical analysis with themes and also I'm also going to discuss the postmodern features of this novel. So let's get started. So Gabrielle Zevin is an American writer. Her father is American while her mother is Korean, and she grew up in Florida, and she graduated from Spanish River Community High School in 1996. She enrolled at Harvard University where she studied English literature, and that is quite explainable. That is why she's a writer. Another thing is that her other works include Margaret Town, Story Light of A.J. Fikry, Young Jane Young, Elsewhere, and Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac. So let me first introduce you to this text before explaining it in detail. So Tomorrow and Tomorrow was published in 2022, and the book can be categorized under the genre of gaming fiction and popular culture fiction. Gaming fiction because it talks about video games and the gaming environment and the gaming world, whatever happens within the gaming world, and that's all. And popular culture because you know video games are the popular culture, and popular culture fiction is a type of fiction which make use of a popular trends of that very time. So this novel make use of the video gaming element as a popular culture of its time. That's why it is also categorized as popular culture fiction. The story follows the life of an enthusiastic gamer, Samson Lesor. So basically, Samson is a protagonist, and the novel spans about 30 years of his life, and he explores the world of multiple games, ranging from conventional games like Ishigo to technologically advanced games like MMORPG games with highly immersive environments. Moreover, as he navigates the world of games, such interaction allows him to navigate his emotions. Eventually, when he starts to design his own video games, then in this way he gives an outlet to his emotions and experiences. In addition to that, the story also illuminates the struggle of Samson Mansour with his amputated foot. So you see the protagonist we have the protagonist is differently abled, and the story is about his navigation in the real world as well as in the gaming world along with his disability. Now, if we get into the analysis of the text, um, the very main motive of this text is that it makes use of gaming word. And what's so special about this gaming word is that gaming word is a word of chances, and this element of games comes in contrast with the element of life, which in which there are in which we have limited chances. Like there is this reference to the title Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Actually, the very title of the text is taken from a famous line from William Shakespeare tragedy Macbeth, and it was spoken by the character of Macbeth in Act 5, Scene 5, after his wife's death, and the line begins a soliloquy in which Macbeth reflects on the repetitive nature of time and futility of life. And he famously compares it to a walking shadow, and a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury signifying nothing. So he was like, into like tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, there's as a time comes when life is going to end and there is no eternity and it lacks chances. Similarly, in this very text, Gabriel Zevin has taken a dig on this element of Shakespeare. He has taken the same phrase, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, but he used it in the sense of gaming word, and she used it in the sense like gaming word is full of chances, full of options. And but in Zell's but in And here I have written that in Zevin's novel of Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, it has a contrasting meaning, as if Zevin, being a postmodern writer taking a take on the Shakespearean concept of life, rather it poses a world of never-ending chances, that is video games. And if we look at the structure of a novel, the novel doesn't follow what traditionally be described as a linear chronology, but it shifts back and forth between time periods and location with analepsis and prolapses. For example, the novel begins when it has already established Samson Masur as a successful game designer, and then it switches back to his childhood when he is just a kid struggling with his disability, and then it moves to the future and it goes back. So this back and forth movement is going on within the novel. That's why I say that it has analepsis and prolapses. Also, the novel is written from the perspective of an omnipresent narrator, but occasionally shifts to character to shed light on their inner turmoil. In addition to that, as the novel dismantles the concept of healthy male gamer, similarly it also reinforces the concept of female gamer by introducing the character of Sadie. So you see, normally the gaming field, the gaming environment is, especially video game, it is mostly considered as a gendered space. Like, it is mostly associated with male gamers, but we rarely consider a female gamer when we think about games. But this novel, it dismantles this concept by introducing female gamer. So you see, there are a variety of characters in this novel, and they are very interesting. So, and also when we talk about video games, we mostly think of a healthy male gamer, but here in this novel we have a protagonist who has the disability of amputated foot. And so see how amazing it is. Now let's discuss the postmodern features of this novel. There are some very significant elements of postmodern literature available in this novel, like a disabled character. As I have already discussed, a disabled character is the main character. So opposite to the ancient work of Renaissance, Puritan, or even modern works, where main characters have some heroic qualities, some heroic energy with them, but here our main character is Samson, and he's disabled and he's being bullied in the society. So you see, it also illuminates the dark aspect of society in which we segregate those who suffer from some kind of disability. So Samson Masur at age 21 did not have a build for pushing and showing, and so as much as possible he weaved through the crowd, feeling somewhat like a doomed amphibian from the video game Frogger. So you see, it's a quote taken from the novel itself, and it is written on page 11, and it clearly shows that Samson lacks this very confidence in his personality because of his disability. Like, he doesn't walk confidently, like rather he weaved through the crowd, like feeling somewhat like a doomed amphibian. So this is what society made him feel like that. Another main character is that gaming word is being given more importance than the concrete word. Although in modern society, gaming is considered a leisure activity with no purpose. I have mentioned modern society in a sense because I'm talking about postmodern novel. So I want to go a little backward. That's why I mentioned modern society. It doesn't actually means the latest technological society. No, it means I'm not mentioning the postmodern. I'm comparing it in a sense that it's not postmodern, because in modern society gaming is considered a leisure activity with no purpose, but this more postmodern text foregrounds it as a beneficial activity. Again, the meta-narrative of gaming as a useless activity has been subverted, and the mini-narrative of productive gaming is enforced. You see, in postmodern feature, we have this concept of meta-narrative and mini-narrative. Like, postmodern writers, they dismantle meta narrative, and because they on the other hand introduce mini narrative. So this is how it's a postmodern novel. And another feature is that Giving Food gives agency and freedom to the physically disabled Sam. Meanwhile, he lacks this freedom in the real world and the victim of bullying and harassment because of his disability. So, as he himself says, I could save the princess even when I could barely get out of bed. So, I do want to be rich and famous. I am, as you know, a bottomless pit of ambition and need. But I also want to make something sweet. Something kids like us, here he means disabled kid, kids like us would have wanted to play to forget their troubles for a while. So it shows that the real world is giving him trouble, while the gaming world is more inclusive, more welcoming to the people like him. And that's all. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also leave a suggestion for me that how I'm doing. Okay, bye bye.